Megumi states that he will exorcise Yuji as if he were a curse. However, Yuji raises his arms to signal that he means no harm and he's in control. He says they both need to get to a hospital, but Megumi can't tell if the curse is trying to trick him. Before he's forced to make a decision, Megumi's sensei, Satoru Gojo arrives. Megumi is surprised by his teacher's appearance, so Gojo explains the elders were making a fuss about the cursed object. He stopped for souvenirs and then came to check on Megumi's progress. Yuji reveals that he ate the finger, which Gojo finds hard to believe. He examines Yuji closely and realizes that he actually has combined with Sukuna. Gojo decides to test Yuji's control by asking him to switch with Sukuna for 10 seconds. In that time, Gojo will fight while Megumi holds his Kikufuku, a Sendai specialty. Megumi is taken back by his teacher's carelessness while Yuji allows Sukuna to take control. Despite the curse attacking first, Gojo is easily able to evade all of Sukuna's strikes with incredible speed. Since his student watching, Gojo decides to show off and hits Sukuna with several uncanny attacks. Sukuna claims that Jujutsu sorcerers are troublesome in every era and tries to finish the fight. Instead, Gojo is easily able to repel the rubble created by the curse and counts down the final few seconds until Yuji regains control. Surprisingly, Yuji is effortlessly able to regain control of his body. Gojo decides to knock him out and tells Megumi that if Yuji can awake as himself, he'll have real potential as a vessel. Megumi knows that Yuji should be executed under the rules of Jujutsu, but Megumi asks his teacher not to allow that to happen. Gojo promises to fulfill this request and brings Yuji up to speed sometime later. Inside the room filled with seals while Yuji is bound to the chair, Gojo explains the Jujutsu elders decided to have him executed. However, Gojo was able to plead Yuji's case and has had his sentence suspended. Yuji has potential as a vessel for Sukuna, therefore he can be used to consume the curse should he eat all 20 of his fingers. Doing so would be of value to Jujutsu Tech, so Gojo convinced them not to execute Yuji until he's devoured all the fingers. Afterward, Itadori visits Sasaki and Iguchi in the hospital. Sasaki blames herself for the incident as they both sit by Iguchi's bed. Despite the doctors believing that he's in stable condition, Iguchi hasn't regained consciousness. Yuji explains the reality of the situation and pits the blame on himself. Before leaving, he assures Sasaki that a sorcerer will come by to heal Iguchi. Yuji meets up with Gojo outside the hospital to discuss his decision. He asks if there are many casualties involving curses and Gojo explains that people are lucky to die a normal death after encountering a curse. They travel to the morgue where Yuji collects his grandfather's ashes and decides to swallow the second finger whole. Gojo awaits the chain reaction as Yuji struggles with what appears to be Sukuna's influence. However, Yuji is simply struggling with the grossness of devouring the finger and proves without a doubt that he possesses the talent to control Sukuna, something the Jujutsu world hasn't seen in 1,000 years. Yuji doesn't want to be executed, but he decides he needs to fight curses and help assimilate all of Sukuna's fingers. Following Yuji's decision, Gojo tells him to pack his bags. Yuji asks where they are going, to which Megumi answers as he enters the room after being treated for injuries. After saying goodbye to his grandfather, Yuji travels with Gojo to the mountains of Tokyo where Tokyo Metropolitan Jujutsu Technical School resides. One of only 2 Jujutsu facilities in the country, Jujutsu Tech is disguised as a religious private school. In reality it is a pillar of the Jujutsu community and a base of operations for all Jujutsu sorcerers even after they graduate. Before Yuji can be accepted into the school, he has an interview with the principal. The principal has final say and could order Yuji's execution outright. Disappointed that Gojo isn't in charge, Sukuna creates a mouth on Yuji's skin and threatens to kill Gojo first thing after taking over Yuji. Gojo says it would be an honor and explains Sukuna's origins. When asked who's stronger between them, Gojo is confident enough to proclaim himself. They arrive to the principal's office where they find Masamaki Yaga creating cute puppets. Yuji introduces himself and Yaga asks him why he wants to enroll in Jujutsu Tech. Yuji replies that he wants to learn Jujutsu, but the principal is asking on a deeper level. Yuji says that he wants to help people as a dying wish from someone else. Unsatisfied, Yaga claims Yuji fails because he'd only be fighting for someone else's desires. Principal Yaga uses his cursed corpse, one of his dolls, to attack Yuji until he gets an acceptable answer. Yaga explains the unpleasantries of the job and says sorcerers must be highly motivated and a little crazy. It's not something that can be done just because someone else told them to do it. Yaga asks if Yuji will blame his death by a curse on his grandfather as well. He does this to help Yuji realize more about himself, as the dolls begins a second wave of attacks. Yaga asks again what Yuji plans on doing at Jujutsu Tech. Knowing stopping Sukuna is something only Yuji can do, Yuji grabs the doll and restrains it with brute strength. While holding on, Yuji explains that he must stop Sukuna if he's going to live without regrets. Impressed with Yuji's answer, Yaga accepts the young man into the school and asks Gojo to show him around. Gojo takes Yuji to his dorm where he asks Yuji if he's prepared to fight. With Sukuna inside him, Yuji can be used as both a vessel and a locator for the other fingers. They exit the dorm to find Megumi next door, disappointed that Yuji will be living so close. Gojo reveals that he's taking them both to Morioka Station the next day. They're going to pick up the third first-year student, Nobara Kujizaki, a young girl ready to leave her hometown countryside behind her.